Welcome to Second Take, where the powerful get undressed with facts sharper than their suits. Tonight, Edgar Lungu's body is still caught between family loyalty and Hakainde Hichilema's state machinery. Hint, hint, HH is fed up. In South Africa, Floyd Shivambu has been ejected from Jacob Zuma's MK party like expired comradeship. Vague pressers, no quotes, but plenty of ambition still simmering. Then we head to Zimbabwe, where Wicknell Chivayo, patron saint of shady contracts, lands a $400 million healthcare deal. Because, of course he does. No miracles here, just familiar faces and national decay. Finally choreographed. Welcome to the show. In a country where hospitals often resemble crime scenes and medicine cupboards echo with emptiness, the Zimbabwean government has once again chosen cronyism over competence. This time, it comes with a $400 million price tag handed to, drumroll please, Wicknell Chivayo, the flamboyant businessman whose career thrives in the exact spaces where government collapses. The state's latest masterpiece of procurement has awarded Chivayo's company, whose medical credentials remain a national mystery, a massive healthcare tender. The figure, as I said, $400 million. It's astonishing, especially in a country where basic drugs are smuggled out of clinics, nurses strike biannually, and people crowd WhatsApp groups for Panado. But this is Zimbabwe, where government contracts are less about service delivery and more about political debt repayment. Chivayo's record is far from clean. In 2004, he was convicted of fraud. Later, he secured a $200 million solar contract that produced more invoices than electricity. Yet, somehow, he remains the preferred son of the state, cloaked in designer clothes, guarded by ZANU-PF alliances, and impervious to public accountability. His gift is not innovation. It's survival. His portfolio is not performance. It's proximity to power. The response from the public has been volcanic. Social media is flooded with outrage, satire, and screenshots of Chivayo's luxury cars. Civil society organizations are calling for audits and resignations. But the state remains unmoved, silent behind tinted windows, hidden behind a wall of loyal press releases. No comment from the Ministry of Health, no statement from the president. Just the quiet confirmation that when it comes to public funds, friends eat first. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe's healthcare system limps along. Ambulances run out of fuel, equipment is rusted, patients pay for gloves, and now $400 billion meant for healing is handed to a man whose primary skill is Instagram influence. Even the United States, no stranger to questionable foreign policy, recently halted health funding to Zimbabwe over medicine theft. It's hard to blame them. When the state treats tenders like loyalty bonuses, international partners tend to lose their wallets. Chivayo himself remains characteristically silent about this in particular. Perhaps he's already offshore, or maybe he's too busy posing with the next contract. Either way, the message is clear. The Zimbabwean state does not fear its citizens. It does not answer to its doctors. It does not care about optics. It rewards loyalty over logic and money over medicine. As of June 20, no investigation has been announced. No whistleblowers protected. No contracts revoked. The $400 billion deal is still alive, even as thousands of Zimbabweans are not. In a functioning republic, this would be a scandal. In Zimbabwe, is just another day going ZANU-PF's way. Floyd Shivambu has been shown the door again. this time by the Umkhonto weSizwe MK party, the Jacob Zuma-backed political outfit that emerged as a side hustle from the ANC's slow implosion. Until last week, Shivambu was Secretary General. Today, he's an independent contractor in search of a cause. The reasons for his removal remain vague, but in South African politics, vague is just another word for deliberately unfinished business. On June 18, news broke that Shivambu would hold a press briefing the next day. Journalists prepped their cameras, analysts cleared their schedules, South Africans braced for fire. But when June 19 came, Floyd delivered something even more dangerous than rage. Like nothing really. No real statement, no grand plan, just strategic silence and vague allusions to next steps. It was less political resurrection and more like a LinkedIn soft launch. Of course, silence in Shivambu's speak is political instrument. It's the kind of silence that says you haven't seen the last of me unless I get a better offer. This is a man who once roared alongside Julius Malema in the EFF, only to land in Zuma's bunker, reshaped and ready to reboot. Now he's out in the political cold again, though with enough mileage to start a new party, publish a memoir, or release a cryptic 3-minute voice note that breaks the internet. The MK party isn't offering details either, because this isn't about ideology. It's about choreography. The party is trying to find its rhythm. Part Zuma nostalgia, part populist fire, but can't seem to manage their dance partners. Shivambu, charismatic but chronically unmanageable, was always going to spin out of formation. If loyalty is the currency of MK, then Floyd just maxed out his credit. Public interest in his next move remains high. Speculation ranges from a return to the EFF, unlikely, to forming a third, fourth, or fifth force, possible, to pursuing politics as influence rather than politics as structure, very likely. In other words, Shivambu may be done with official titles, but don't be fooled. He's still in the game. South African politics rarely retires its players. It just reshuffles them into new WhatsApp groups.
I'm sure you've heard the news, and Namibia is calling. And it's time to answer with a smile. From the rolling sand dunes of Sossusvlei to the wildlife wonders of Etosha National Park, Namibia is a treasure trove of natural beauty and adventure. With Enjoy, booking the most renowned lodges is as easy as a desert breeze. Picture yourself sipping coffee on a deck, watching the sunrise. Paint the sky in hues of gold and orange. Or how about a thrilling safari, capturing memories that'll last a lifetime? Our easy-to-use website hosts the most beautiful lodges Namibia has to offer. Whether you crave luxury or a cozy hideaway, we've got you covered. So pack your bags and let's turn your dream adventure into reality. Namibia awaits, and with Enjoy, your perfect stay is just a click away.
It's been 2 weeks since Edgar Lungu, former president of Zambia and part-time antagonist in the nation's post-independence drama, died in Pretoria. And yet, his body has become the most politically active thing in Zambia, stuck in South Africa, surrounded by diplomatic tension, legal posturing, and the thick stench of unfinished business. In life, Lungu governed with an iron fist and a loyal choir. In death, he's inspired a chorus of some officials, party fanatics, and aggrieved relatives singing from entirely different hymn sheets. According to family and PF insiders, Lungu's final wish was blunt: keep Hichilema away from my corpse. No metaphors, no ambiguity, just a direct message from the grave. And thus, the country finds itself in a state of national paralysis over how to bury a man who apparently wanted to curate his funeral like a Cold War peace treaty. The government, led by the very man Lungu once threw in prison 15 times, insists on a full state funeral. The family says no, at least not one involving that man. In Zambia, even the dead don't retire from politics. They just switch portfolios. On June 7, the government kicked off a 7-day mourning period. PF responded by launching their own a day earlier. Because when you've politicized life, why not do the same with grief? Competing funeral programs emerged. 2 mourning venues opened. Lusaka became a divided city. Mourners decided to pick. They had to pick a side, a location, and a condolence book. You could almost feel the tension. Do you grieve in PF-approved sorrow or opt for government-sanctioned bereavement? Repatriation was scheduled, then stopped, then rescheduled, then blocked again. The family accused the government of tampering with arrangements, smuggling in new plans without consent. This is what the lawyer had to say.
The family has noted with regret that there have been attempts to subvert the spirit of the agreement that the family and the government got into by engagement into the following on the part of the government. On the 16th of June 2025, a statement to the public was released by Road Development Agency stating that they would be carrying out repair works of the road from Crossroads 7 kilometers onwards. As the public may know, this is a road that leads to Chifwema, the official residence of the former president. It is also part of the program and agreement that at all times the body would be moving from Chifwema to Mulungushi Conference Center for purposes of body viewing, the state funeral, as well as the burial service on the 23rd. However, the notice from RDA put it across that the road would be under maintenance. When this was brought to our attention, we advised the Secretary to the Cabinet that we're uncomfortable with these works as they tended to go against the agreement that we had. When this was brought to their attention, the said works were suspended until further notice. However, on the 17th of June 2025, the Secretary to the Cabinet issued a statement restricting people from receiving or at least witnessing the arrival of the remains of the former president. This notice was issued without consultation with the family, and further, no opportunity whatsoever was given to the family to indicate whom they wished to invite, if at all the attendance was by invitation, nor were they given any chance to say anything as regards the said invitation. When the Secretary to the Cabinet was engaged, he only stated that there were security concerns, which concerns still have not been stated to the family. Following that statement, the next thing was that there was a program for the arrival of the body at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. This program suggested that upon arrival at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, the body would be taken to a designated place for a church service, and thereafter it would be received by President Hakainde Hichilema at the airport. This position was not an agreed position with the family, and the program was made without consultation with the family. When this matter was made known to the Secretary to the Cabinet, he stated that the same was released in error and was a draft, and as such should not have been released. Before long, yet another statement, which they termed a combined program, was released, which essentially contained the same, but further went to suggest that on Thursday, the 19th of June 2025, President Hakainde Hichilema would lead the body viewing at Mulungushi International Conference Center. This program, as well, was arrived at without consultation with the family. For this reason and many more, the family finds it very difficult to believe that the government will stick to their end of the agreement and have resolved, sadly so, that the mortal remains of President Edgar Lungu will not return home today.
The Road Development Agency decided to beautify the funeral route without telling anyone, which was an issue. Government officials restricted public access to the airport, then added a state church service featuring, you guessed it, President H.H. Hakainde Hichilema. Less of a funeral, more of a PR war with the corpse at the center. Cabinet Secretary Patrick Kangwa appeared on national television asking for calm and dignity, which in Zambian political language translates to, please, let us bury this man before, the voters bury us. But it's not looking like that. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Mulambo Haimbe reminded the nation that the funeral concerns all Zambians. He's right. Few things expose a country's democratic health like how it handles the death of its leaders. And right now, Zambia looks like it's writing its own obituary. On social media, frustration boils. Hashtags like "free the body and let him rest" trend as citizens wade through political statements, funeral schedules, and spiritual consultations like bureaucratic maze runners. Some are confused, others are angry, many are just tired. Constitutional lawyer John Sangwa proposed a legal framework for presidential funerals, a chillingly rational idea in a country where logic has been getting treated like an optional extra. As of June 20, Edgar Lungu remains in Pretoria, Zambia remains in limbo, and the political class, both ruling and opposition, continues to exploit the dead like they do the living, selectively, strategically, and with just enough sanctimony to pass it off as national interest. But HH can only have so much patience. He got fed up and he said, that national mourning period we had, it stops today. It's time to return to normalcy. Here he is in his own words.
Fellow citizens, as we mark the 14th day since the demise of our 6th Republican president, Mr. Edgar Lungu, we reflect on the past 2 weeks, not only as a period of mourning, but a time for healing, and indeed, a test of our resolve as a peace-loving and law-abiding nation. We wish to begin by expressing our gratitude to the church, our traditional leaders, and the citizenry for their moral and spiritual guidance during this difficult time. We also wish to thank our envoys, including our former Vice President, Mr. Enoch Kabindele, His Royal Highness Chief Mumbi, our Foreign Affairs Minister, the Secretary to the Cabinet, and all others involved in the search for a reasonable, inclusive, and amicable resolution over the unfortunate impasse relating to the state funeral. We express sincere gratitude to President Cyril Ramaphosa and the people of South Africa for their exceptional cooperation and indeed compassion. We acknowledge those citizens, including business owners, whose operations have been affected during this difficult time. We thank you for your resilience, patience, solidarity, and calmness during this time. As you are all aware, our government has made numerous efforts to engage the family and representatives of the late president in order to reach consensus in this matter. By last Sunday, the 15th of June, a mutual understanding was achieved and expressed through the joint press briefing held in South Africa. This breakthrough brought relief to the nation, and we were prepared to receive the remains of the late 6th Republican president on Wednesday, 18th of June. It was agreed that this was to be followed by programs that would have culminated in a dignified burial on Monday, the 23rd of June. By virtue of this positive development, we extended the mourning period by another 9 days, and we began to fulfill all of our commitments towards the state funeral with full honors. Yesterday, June 18th, the people of Zambia were prepared to receive the remains of our former president, but were surprised by the family's reversal of the agreed course of action. At our request, the South African government prepared extensively with military honors mounted by the South African Defence Force, who did so in vain, as the former president's body was not availed by the family for repatriation to Zambia. For this unfortunate situation, we extend our sincere apologies to President Ramaphosa, the government, and the people of South Africa. Fellow citizens, our country cannot afford a state of indefinite mourning. We've done everything possible to engage the family of our departed 6th Republican president, and we've reached a point where a clear decision has to be made. Given these circumstances, I therefore wish to inform the nation that as of the end of today, the 19th of June 2025, this particular national mourning period is officially over. This will allow the country to begin to return to some normalcy. Mr. Lungu was not only an ordinary citizen, but our 6th Republican president. While we recognize that he belongs to a family, he also belongs to the nation of Zambia. It is therefore correct that our 6th Republican president should be buried in Zambia with full honors and not in any other nation. In the meantime, we urge our citizens to maintain calm and orderliness. As we have stated before, during this difficult time, no amount of lawlessness will be tolerated. Let us remain united as a nation and maintain the peace we are known for. In this spirit, we say to the Lungu family, and indeed the people of Zambia, our hearts remain with you. Our doors as government remain open for further engagement as appropriate. May the soul of our departed former Republican president, Mr. Edgar Lungu, rest in eternal peace. May God bless you all. May God bless Zambia. I thank you.
It all began with ink on paper, a small but powerful voice that reached the homes of Namibians, sharing their stories, their triumphs, their struggles. As the world evolved, so did we. From the presses to your screens, keeping you connected to the news that matters, wherever you are. We didn't stop at digital. We brought the action to life on your screens, covering the moments that unite us all. We're not just a source of information. We're your partner in exploration, booking your stay, paying for your meals, and even sending your event tickets straight to your phone. Reaching over 1 million people daily, we are a fully integrated system, working together to make your life easier. Whether it's news, events, or everyday information, we've brought it all together. We're committed to empowering the next generation. Through partnerships and innovation, we're delivering education to every corner of Namibia. We've become so much more. More than news, more than information. We're here to help you enjoy everything Namibia has to offer. NTV, so much more than just television.
So, what have we learned? Edgar Lungu's funeral became Zambia's constitutional headache. That Floyd Shivambu can't hold a political title longer than a viral tweet without tripping over internal democracy. And that Wicknell Chivayo is living proof that in Zimbabwe, connections cure everything, except the sick. These names aren't anomalies. They're a catalogue of what happens when liberation movements and others rot inward and reward loyalty over service. The lesson? In Africa's elite circles, politics is never about policy. It's about performance. The rest of us, we bury our dead and quietly dodge the potholes. My name is Ashwin Berry, and this has been Second Take.